Today, we're going to talk about something that's not just the secret to building truly intelligent AI, but it's also, believe it or not, a superpower for solving the biggest problems in your own life. It's called algorithmic thinking, and by the time we're done here, you're going to see it as your personal recipe for clarity in a really chaotic world.
Okay, so let's start with a paradox, something that's kind of weird about modern AI. You've seen it, right? An AI can whip up this incredible piece of art or write a poem that's genuinely moving, all in a few seconds. And yet, if you ask that same super smart AI to solve a simple logic puzzle, one it hasn't seen before, it just completely falls apart. So what's going on here? What's the missing piece?
Well, that question right there, it points to this huge gaping hole in how today's AI actually thinks. So let's start there. Let's figure out what's missing from AI's brain.
To really get it, you've got to understand that there are two ways to think. The first one is intuition, or what some call System 1. This is your gut feeling. It's fast, it's automatic, it's great at pattern matching. And this is where current AI is an absolute rock star. It's seen billions of examples, so it can intuit what the next word in a sentence should probably be. But then there is System 2, reasoning. This is the slow, deliberate, step-by-step thinking. And this is where AI hits a brick wall.
So here it is, the big secret. The missing link between a machine that's just a clever mimic and one that can actually think is reasoning. It's the ability to follow logical rules. That's what separates what we have now from what we're all hoping for, artificial general intelligence, or AGI. It's the difference between knowing what comes next and actually understanding why.
So, how do we build that missing piece? How do we teach a machine to reason? Well, the solution is surprisingly simple, and it's something you use every single time you cook. It's all about the power of a recipe.
And that brings us to our big idea for today, algorithmic thinking. Now, it sounds complicated, I know, but it's not. It has nothing to do with gut feelings or guesswork. It's all about creating a super clear, structured, step-by-step plan that you know will work. It's literally about writing a perfect recipe to solve a problem.
And check this out. This table just lays it out so clearly. On one side, you've got intuitive thinking, what current AI uses. It's all pattern recognition. Sure, it's fast, but throw a new problem at it, and it's lost. And, maybe most importantly, it's a black box. We have no idea why it made the decision it did. But then look at the other side, algorithmic thinking. The goal for AGI. It uses logic. It's slower, yeah, but it's deliberate. It can figure out a solution to something brand new. And it's totally transparent. You can see every single step of its thinking.
Now here's where it gets really interesting for you and me. This isn't just some abstract theory for building smart robots. This exact same way of thinking is an incredibly powerful tool for solving the messiest problems in our own lives. So let's bring this out of the lab and into the real world.
And just to kind of close the loop on the AI side of things, this whole recipe approach is exactly how researchers are trying to fix AI's biggest problems. By using logic or symbolic reasoning, they can crack open that black box and make AI's decisions understandable. And by learning the rules of how things work, not just what they look like, AI can finally handle new situations. This combo is called neurosymbolic AI, and it's basically the best of both worlds. You get the super fast pattern matching of today's AI, plus the reliable logical reasoning that it's missing. It's our best shot at getting to real AGI.
Okay, that's the high-tech stuff. But what in the world does this have to do with you, right? I mean, what does building a super intelligent AI have to do with planning a wedding? Or, just finding your keys? Well, the connection is way more direct than you think.
The first tool, the first ingredient in our mental recipe book, is something called decomposition. It's a fancy word for a really simple idea: divide and conquer. You see, most of us freeze up when we're staring at a huge problem because we try to solve the whole thing at once.
Take this for instance, just the phrase, plan a wedding. For a lot of people, that's enough to cause a full-on panic attack. It feels like this one giant, impossible, overwhelming task.
But someone using algorithmic thinking, they don't see one big problem. They decompose it. They see a series of small, simple, totally doable tasks. Book the venue? Check. Finalize the guest list? Check. Choose the caterer? Check. See what's happening? You're turning this overwhelming monster of a challenge into a simple, manageable checklist. All right, our second tool is abstraction. And again, don't let the fancy word fool you. This just means focus on what actually matters. It's about filtering out all the noise. When a problem feels totally chaotic, abstraction is about finding the few things you can actually control. Like, think about being stuck in traffic. You can't control the 100 other cars, right? But you can control your route or what time you leave. Abstraction is just ignoring the chaos and putting your energy only where it can make a difference.
Okay, let's put these two ideas together in a simple test that I guarantee every single one of us has failed at some point, the dreaded lost keys test.
So, the intuitive way we search for our keys, it's pure chaos. It's all gut feeling. You panic, you check the little bowl by the door for the 10th time, you run to the kitchen, you check the car, you check your pockets again. It's fast, it's frantic, and it's totally unreliable. You're just guessing.
Now, compare that to the algorithmic search. No panic, just a plan. First, you decompose the problem. You divide the house into zones: living room, kitchen, bedroom. Then you create a protocol. I will search Zone A methodically, from left to right. Once it's done, you update its status. Zone A is clear. Then you iterate. You just move on to Zone B and do the exact same thing. It might feel a little slower, but it's a guaranteed path to success. You've literally created a recipe for finding things.
So after all that, what's the big takeaway? How does knowing this actually change anything for you?
The most important thing to remember is this. Algorithmic thinking is not some niche skill for software engineers. It's a universal metaskill. It's a tool for navigating reality, for thinking clearly, whether you're a chef, a CEO, or a stay-at-home parent.
Because really, at its heart, this way of thinking does one simple, magical thing. It takes that heart-pounding feeling of being overwhelmed by some huge, messy challenge, and it turns it into a calm, clear, manageable process. It gives you back a sense of control when things feel chaotic.
And that brings me to my final question for you. Think about your job, a personal goal you have, or even just some nagging problem at home. What's one challenge in your life right now that feels overwhelming? And what would be the very first step in building a clear, logical recipe to solve it?